Hiya then folks, welcome to Boating on a Budget. What we're doing today then?
Bedroom.
Bedroom. Fair way off being a bedroom just a minute though, innit?
Open space.
But no, the way we're planning on doing the boat is basically we're going to kind of work from this end down, aren't we?
Yeah.
And obviously this end is what's going to be the bedroom. We're kind of doing it like that so that it means that we've got space down the other end to work, haven't we? You know, we're not trying to do all the siding at once or anything. Now we've got the flooring to work from, do it sort of section by section. The other thing to it is, as we get further down that way, there's sections of the roof that need the little repairs, and as you can perhaps see, the weather's not really suitable for fiberglassing at the minute. We need temperatures around sort of 20 degrees from what we've found to do fiberglassing.
Yeah, it's too cold, isn't it?
And at the minute it was snowing outside, so we're a long way off 20 degrees. So it means that we can be doing this section, which is largely watertight. There's one slight hiccup to that though, isn't there? Your work. Yeah, for the next 3 days, I'm now off work.
Yeah.
You're at work.
And I'm working late as well.
Yeah, so that means I've got to crack on my own. We're going to see in the next 3 days what I can get done. Starting off by, we need to get some siding on here, which we'll talk about the windows as I do it, but we've had a change of plan on these, haven't we? Change of plan is kind of
I was just going to say.
our thing, but I'll discuss that as I actually start doing the work. So I'm going to try and get some siding on there, the panelling on the bottom with the insulation behind. This obviously is now going to be kind of a cupboard cum wardrobe, so we'll make the start on that, at least by getting insulation in around the backs and things, paneling it out. Then there's the water tank to go here, which still hasn't arrived, even though it was due to come on the 2nd, and we're now on the 7th. Another story.
Dates have just gone by.
And then where we are will actually be the bed, and then the wardrobe. I'll have all that done by 3 days' time, won't I?
Well, we'll soon see.
You'll get yourself off to work, and I'll get cracking. Here we are then, the following morning. Dawn's now off to work, so I'm here to do the first proper full day cracking on with the boat. Outside it's snowing, temperatures are about -1, -2 at the minute, and it's expected to stay like that pretty much all day. So my first job is get this fire lit. I'm sure you all saw the last vlog where we fitted the fire, and I think I could say not a minute too soon. Because it wouldn't have been a pleasant day if I were now working all day in the cold without a hot drink. Get plenty of paper on it. Must say, if you ask me, this is the best thing for newspapers. Incidentally, today's top tip. Dawn picks these up for free when she's on the bus. Yeah, that public transport type stuff that people use. So, free newspapers, perfect for getting your fire going. A little bit of kindling. You'll see the sophisticated storage system for timber. There we go then, bit of patience, a little bit of magic, and we've got the log burner, and all important, I've got a little pan with some water, get that on there, and I'm going to have an hot brew very soon. Coming along nicely then, see there's a bit of steam starting to come off the water. Now very privileged, because these are some trees that my dad cut down, and we reckon it's literally 20 years ago. Since then they've been sat next to their fire at home, just decorative, mainly because theirs is a gas fire. But my mum and dad have kindly donated them to help make my first brew on the log burner on Leander Lady. So let's get a couple of these in there. So the water's hot, not quite boiling, there's just a few little bubbles coming up. And I knew I'd spill it everywhere. We have got a stovetop kettle at Nuts and Bolts. And guess what I forgot to bring with me? So for today, the little pan will do. Cheers. Let's crack on with some work. His first job then is kind of framing it all up, because obviously to put the boarding and the insulation we need framework going round, down the sides, covering the areas, covering the bits around the hatch where it needs the framework for when we rebuild the hatch. And this is going to literally be, as we say, winging it, because we've never really obviously done anything quite like this before. We've worked with timber before, but not like this. So, however, the actual way we're going to do it is a bit flexible. We've got some screws, we've got some Sikaflex, we've got some scratchy head moments, I'm sure. Let's get everything out, let's get cracking. So I'm going to cut a couple of additional supports first off that are going to go across the ceiling, like that. I need to make sure there's enough room down each side so that the insulation can come up. Across there that measures 132 centimetres, that is. The insulation's 25mm thick, so obviously one each side is 5 centimetres, so that means I need to cut a piece at 127 centimetres, and we'll see how that's going to go. I will apologise for this first bit, because obviously working on the ceiling, it's a little bit tricky to get the camera so that you can see the ceiling, but I will bring it over and show you. And also, just as a point to note, I've put a bit of boarding over these windows. That's purely and simply because, although it's snowing, it's quite bright out there, and with the light shining through, it's reflecting off my head. So, 127 centimetres. Got the chop saw set up. Get me gloves, goggles and things on, and we'll start cutting. First piece cut, let's have a look. Looks something about right. And my idea is, I'm going to screw up through there and there with some Sikaflex behind it. Sikaflex, if you're unaware, is like a really powerful grab adhesive. In actual fact, the Sikaflex would probably hold it on its own, but the screws are just there as an addition to it. And if I just show you what I'll be screwing into, this is the section I cut out the roof for the chimney. And if I just bring that up, obviously, hopefully, you'll see on there, the way it's made up, you've basically got a layer of fiberglass, about, I would say about 10mm, so what's that getting on for half an inch, a bit short of half an inch of timber, and then again a layer of fiberglass that's on the outside. So my idea is to at least just hold it while the Sikaflex goes off. There'll be some screws going up through there and into the roof. I'll do that at regular intervals, because obviously at the minute you've kind of got, between the joists you've got big gaps. This one's about 3 foot, which if you remember when we took the original ceiling down, it was just one long sheet of fiberglass. So that was fine with that, but to put the timber up that we're going to be putting up, the plywood roof, we'll need more regular joists. And it'll help to strengthen the roof, especially the fact it's going to be tied into the sides. Screws out, Sikaflex out. Let's try getting one on there. First piece up. Next job then is to cut a little spacer piece that will go in between there, and then we can screw up directly under there, again into the ceiling. And there we see the central noggin, Sikaflexed and screwed in place. Obviously the thing I'm having to be really careful with is making sure I measure my screws exactly, because if I put one in that's too long, it'll come straight out the roof, and that's going to cause us problems. But I have obviously got a few of these to put in. We'll probably put another one sort of between that, and then like I say, a couple in here, and then probably even moving down at least one in between that and that. So what I'll do is I'll crack on with them. This then's about an hour later. Managed to get battens going across the ceiling in what will be the bedroom area. Again, probably really difficult to pick up on camera, but these ones are at a slight uphill angle, if you like, towards the centre, because they don't go all the way across. I did look at potentially trying to pack those out to get them to run level, but I decided in the end to get the better fixing. If I put those on at an angle, I can then add a little board that sticks down so it brings it across level. See, these are all the things that take the extra time and thinking about and planning, because like I say, nothing's square, nothing's level, so everything and every bit needs kind of making up as you go along. I've tried to set the camera up on the stand so that I can show you what I've been doing here. It is a bit tricky getting the camera to point upwards without the tripod folding over and things. Maybe it's because I've got a cheap tripod. But basically the joist that ran along, the same as this one that's all fiberglassed in, that was the original ceiling support, is too low. We're taking it up a little bit. So I've had to cut it, and really the only way to cut it was to get the jigsaw in and run it along, which clearly meant I was never going to get an accurate cut there. So what I deliberately did was just cut it as close back as I could, having put a couple of screws into the fiberglass just to hold the piece of wood, and then I've doubled it up with one of the joists and a bit of Sikaflex that I was fitting on the other ones anyway. So obviously that now runs lovely and level all the way along. The other way it doesn't run level is, just to highlight like I was saying a minute ago, down the middle obviously they're nice and level, but these are now following the shape of the boat, which is ever so slightly apexed. So what I'm now going to need to do is cut, I think I'm going to use a bit of plywood because that's easier to cut and shape. So in effect it'll be some little triangles that'll bring this down to the right height, so that then as we run the ceiling boards across, it joins into there. When I cut this next one, I will try and get the camera on that to show you, but like I say, it is a bit tricky doing that. We've obviously got loads of them to do as the project progresses, and I'm sure Dawn will be around at some point for one of them, so we'll definitely do a few close-ups and what have you of that. But I think for now, let's get a bit of plywood. Let's see if we can get this this triangle cut. That looks like that's going to do the job perfect. While we're here, I'll show you these. I were on Amazon, thought, oh, some clamps. I think it were 15 quid for 4 of them and 4 spring clamps. Obviously you can't really see size and quality on Amazon on pictures. And for £14.99 I weren't thinking I were buying lovely Stanley stuff. But I think when I were about 9 years old, I had better clamps than that. But it did the job. I just don't think they're going to last very long. We'll see though. Time to cut this one then. So I'll just quickly show you how I do it. So we're just cutting it out roughly and then doubling it up like we've done with that one. That just gets us a start in with the jigsaw blade so we can follow it round. Just there I've hit a screw that's in from the other side, so I'll whip that out, clean that up. As you can see, that just makes it small enough now so that when we double one of these up against it, this isn't going to get in the way of the ceiling panels, so we get a nice flat ceiling. I think it's time for a brew though. Cheers. just while I'm having my brew, you'll see chimneys up there. Oh, well, now chimney's not up there, hence what I'm on about. We ain't got a chimney at the minute. Obviously that's just the flue pipe sticking up that'll need trimming off, and then a chimney. So anyone get any ideas for where to get a chimney or what chimney to get? I believe the longer the chimney the better the draw. Obviously there's issues then we're going under bridges, but if you're going under a really low bridge you need to take your chimney off anyway. So thoughts and suggestions on chimneys, drop them in the comments. Could just do with a bacon butty to go with this. That's got this end battened up then, all the ceiling. If I just put this straight edge on it, you'll see there, it's pretty good, pretty straight. There are just odd little bits where there's maybe 2-3 mil at absolute most. And to be honest, rebuilding a 1970s narrowboat with a steel hull and a fiberglass roof, there's going to be that much of it's going to twisted, changed, warped over the years. I'm not expecting to get these little bits absolutely to a fraction of a millimetre perfect. If we were doing a brand new build, yeah, it wants to be absolutely spot on. But getting that to within sort of a couple of mil, I think is more than sufficient for this. So that's this one done. That's the ceiling batten down this end. So we have got the whole rest of the boat to go. But we are going to do the boat in sections, so we'll look at that at a later date. Like I say, hopefully Dawn might be with me as I do that bit, so she can record a little bit more detail as to exactly how I've done it. But hopefully you've liked the video, and I assume you're already subscribed and you've dinged the little bell so you get notifications when we put videos on. You can join us next time on the second section of this little trilogy of what I can get done while Dawn's at work over these 3 days. And I think next time I'm going to start on insulating and panelling out just down this side here. I'd have liked to have got this top section done next, but that means taking the windows out, and outside it's about -2 and it's been snowy. Although just at the minute the sun's shining, typical English weather. So yeah, I think next time I'm going to start having a look around the bottom section, insulation in, panelling in. So join us then.